Here's Johnny.
Alright, everybody, this is the episode. This is it. This is it, Luigi. We are gonna beat the game. We're gonna beat this thing like it broke into my house. They are gonna throw absolutely everything at us over the next 15 minutes since this is the last level. They're trying to stop us. Just like that video where that guy filled up his trash can with water and used it as a swimming pool. You're trying to stop me! But yeah, similarly, Nintendo is gonna try to stop us. So layout-wise, this level is slightly different. Because it does not go from left to right. At first, you start going left to right and then you have to go back. Using an albatross. Yep, still on that. So I think the vegetables actually have different weights to them that can impact how you throw them. Or maybe that's just my schizophrenia talking. It's like, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. The vegetables have different weights in Mario 2 for NES. Ever see that famous video where it's like a simulation of what it's like to have schizophrenia and there's all these voices everywhere? I don't know why I asked that. There's no like comedic value to any of that. Peter, that's not funny, that's just terrible. So this is what they actually wanted you to do. We're going from right to left this time. You know, in some other countries, people read from right to left. And then in other countries besides that, people don't even read at all. Adult illiteracy is no joke. Donate to your local library today. I saw like, I partially aped that from an old Simpsons thing. It was like a treehouse of horror and Maggie turned everybody into pacifiers with human heads for some reason. And then one of the pacifiers was with a human head was some famous basketball player. And he made like an important message about adult illiteracy. They said, "Why are you doing this?" And he said, "I'm working off a speeding ticket." I think it is fair to say they were running out of ideas by that point in the show because what even was any of that? I like the classic Treehouse of Horrors a bit better where they actually like parody like, you know, famous horror movies and sometimes The Twilight Zone and not whatever that crap was. That would have been a new episode in my headcanon even though it probably came out in like 2006. Anything that came out in the 2000s and beyond is new Simpsons in my headcanon. Okay, so we gotta start over. They trick me. You trick me, Mr. Nintendo. You make me go down the clouds and jump over the little man yet again. I no fall for your evil trick second time, Nintendo. Okay, just a bit more cautious this time. Yeah, chew on that, Miyamoto. So anyway, I'll mention once again, I had the GBA version of this as a kid, and there were many aesthetic changes. There was like a weird mistake in the GBA version, because the localization team misread some of the text. It said Mario is supposed to be Italian, but they misread it as Mario is supposed to be Iranian. So he had like a little sword, and he would say, "Inshallah, it is me, Mario." Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, yeah, there were lots of small little aesthetic things, like the hearts looked different. Instead of just generic red hearts, they were all orange and transparent looking. And there was an original boss. They had like a Mecha Birdo. That was not in the original. And the brightness was cranked up a bunch too. I think there's an invisible platform off screen that I landed on just now because he wasn't coming back down. At the normal speed, there's probably a secret there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. How unfortunate. And this is our last life, too. But anyway, yeah, the brightness was cranked way up on all the GBA games to compensate for the lack of a backlight. if you try to just watch like a YouTube capture of a GBA game, there's all this unnecessary brightness everywhere, and it's like, yeah, my retinas. You know what that's a reference to? That was, I forget the name of it, but comedian Kyle Dunnigan had that wilderness survival series that he used to do. Birdo came back, but they let us through anyway. Anyway, this would be a good chance to get back that one life that we... See, there you go. Simple as that. But yeah, Kyle Dunnigan had like a wilderness survival show on YouTube, and I remember it being funny when I was like 11. Yeah, Kyle Dunnigan's got some good material.
So pour me a bud, pour you a bass, put a potato in a cannon and fire it up in the air. Heidi-hee, Heidi-ho, Heidi-hee, everyone we're fat and we're Irish, we're drunk and we're gay.
Yeah, good stuff. I used to watch a lot of stand-up comedy back in the day. Every summer there was basically nothing else to do other than to just watch TV. I lived on a rural highway where the cars would routinely go about 70 miles an hour when the speed limit was about 50. So there were no walkable locations. There was a grocery store and a McDonald's that were both about maybe 5 miles away. But again, what are you gonna do, walk 5 miles down a fucking rural highway? So you could not safely leave the premise, really, in any capacity, so there was nothing to do other than just watch Comedy Central all day. So basically all summer long, every single day, there was just nothing to do but watch Kyle Dunnigan and his goofy songs and ba-ba-ba, 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 ba-ba, 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 ba-ba.
Die.
But yeah, just to wrap up my point, it is just unbelievably unpleasant to be stranded in a rural area without transportation as a teenager. Because your options to socialize and meet other people and other fun-loving young people are basically nothing. Your only social interaction that day are just gonna be either your two siblings or crazy people on the internet threatening to cut your head off or something. And as previously stated, there was nothing to do but just watch Comedy Central. I saw just about every special they had to offer. That other weed is a bomb, by the way, for those of you using this as an actual guide. But yeah, the silver lining of me watching so much TV is that's how I learned to be so funny. I became a comedic genius. Only the funniest guys get my kind of numbers. Yes, indeedy. And as long as we're on the topic of just wildly unsuccessful things that I've tried to do over the years, here's a fun story. You know, a couple of months I went to a speed dating thing. I was very much hyped up by other people to go to this. They said, it's gonna be like a harem. The pussy's just gonna fall from the sky. And I said, ew, that's disgusting. Anyway, I went to one of those, and just structurally the way it worked, that there was really no way to succeed. I thought maybe, I expected my horrible personality flaws would get in the way, but it's like even if I was a normal person, this still would have failed, because like there was about 25 men that went there and about maybe 7 women, so structurally there wasn't really the opportunity for me to talk to any of them. I got to talk to one of them over the course of about maybe 3 hours, and we didn't even click anyway. Although looking back, I think I've got a pretty solid plan of what I could have done differently to turn the situation around. I should have brought up these videos. I could have said, you know, I'm like a famous guy on the internet, and then just force a complete stranger to sit through this completely horrific shit. It's horribly unpleasant stuff where it's just me yelling at Mario, and you never know, that could have worked. She could have watched it and said, you know, now that you mention it, Sarah Silverman's big fat pussy is pretty funny. I never thought of it that way. Speaking of pussy, how'd you like to get out of here? And then confetti falls from the ceiling and everybody claps. And then the live band that they had at the event starts playing Together Forever by Rick Astley. And then Rick Astley himself comes out from behind a curtain and starts singing Together Forever, making it right. And it's the best day of my life. Who knew it was that simple? Anyway, we're gonna try to just scooch past Birdo with this part, thinking about how NES logic typically works. I'm pretty sure the health bar resets whenever Birdo's not on screen. And I ain't putting up with that crap. Ah, god damn it. Okay, we have but one life left and we gotta finish the whole rest of the game with just that. Can we do it? Can we pull it off? I guess the tension isn't quite as applicable when you can just skip ahead in the video and answer that question right now. But where's the fun in that? Okay, next up, Birdo seems to have vored the key. Hopefully you, the audience, know what vor is and I don't have to explain that to you. Because that would be deeply uncomfortable. You ever have situations like that where just an out-of-touch elderly person expects you to explain internet stuff like your grandma says, oh, what's a MILF? And you just gotta play dumb. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of such things. I don't know anything. Who are you? Okay, there we go. We got the nasty vor key. Ah, fuck. They assumed that I would start running. This level is filled with all kinds of dirty tricks.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids.
You shall!
Okay, so I was alluding to this moment all the way back in episode 1. We have to actually fight this head now. What was once previously a reliable ally is now an unstable enemy. Who could have predicted such a thing? Okay, just 2 hits, thankfully.
This is it, Luigi.
Okay, cross your fingers, everybody. I don't know the fuck.
Heidi hee, Heidi ho, Heidi hey. Everyone, we're fat and we're Irish, we're drunk and we're gay.
Okay, take 2, and action. Let's just acknowledge that the timing of this is rather unfortunate because there's tubas and also a frog, and that there's been some very topical internet drama going on lately, and I just want to clear the air. I did not plan that. That is purely coincidental. This thing's been locked in for months. We started this playthrough on May 3rd. This was not planned. And you're thinking, what the hell's he even talking about? But anyway, yeah, this character's never been in any other games. Except for the Mario movie. Oh, I love it so much when there's characters I recognize on stream. I saw a thing once where a guy dressed up in a Mario costume and went to the midnight premiere of the Mario movie. And whenever there was a character he recognized on screen, he would loudly call it out and disrupt the movie. And he would do that for the previews before the movie as well. It was extra annoying. They'd have a preview for Paw Patrol or some shit, and he'd say, oh my god, it's Paw Patrol. Have I told this story already? I can't tell. But anyway, that's sort of just completely obnoxious behavior. We normal people, we semi-normal people take great enjoyment in such things. I think he's just got 1 hit left. Nope. They do not want you to win this. I don't know how people manage to pull this kind of stuff off before save states. So that's supposed to be a shocked face on the turnip, by the way. Yep, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Okay, let my people go. Was this alluded to in the instruction manual? And look at that, they're parading the tyrant's bloodied corpse throughout the streets like he's Mussolini. People need to see with their own eyes that the tyrant is finally dead. People will come up to it and kick it and spit on it and... yeah. I guess there's no way to get an equal number of level clears for all the characters, just doing the math here. And it was all a dream, the ultimate cliche. You could just put something funny in his little thought bubble. Yeah, alright, let's get out of here.
Yeah!